Well, on Friday, I took Aaron to a skating lesson with a skating coach. And when you're starting to ice skate, you have one goal, right? Not dying. And how do you die in ice skating? You fall down. And so when you first start learning to ice skate, you step on the ice, and your legs are going like crazy, right? And you're just trying to stay up, and your arms are like this. And that's the goal. Don't fall down so you don't die. And so I'm watching this session, and this coach that he's working with, she's got 4 kids. There's 2 AAA players, 2 AA players, and so they're all pretty good. They're all great 10-year-olds. And I love watching these kids, not because of how good they are as skaters. That comes out in the games. But I love watching it because of how often they fail and how often they fall. And I told Aaron a long time ago, I'm like, if you want to be great at skating, you have to love to fall. When you're doing your drills, don't go slow. Go fast. And your skates are going to go out from under you, and you're going to crash to the ground, but you keep doing it over and over and over, and guess what? You're going to get faster, and you're going to stay up. Right? Because they're learning how to get farther and farther, right? Your skates have like a little hollow, and so they have to learn how to get on the edge of their skate, right? Like that. And the better they are, the more stable they are, the more fluid they are. It doesn't matter if people are knocking into them, right? They can stay on their skates, and they can make tighter turns and do all those kind of things. So if you watch figure skaters, right, they're oftentimes on the edges of their skates. And hockey players look at figure skaters, and they're like, man, I want to be as good as that. And so they hire figure skaters to teach them how to play hockey. Why? Because they want to be better on their edges. And so when they were newer skaters, the goal was not to fall. As you develop, you learn that if you want to be great, you've got to fall. And so you watch these kids fall, and it's great because they go fast and they just fly in their fall. But then they get up and they do it again. And they fall and they get up and then they do it again. All right? You have to learn to be willing to be uncomfortable and be willing to take chances and to get on your edges and be willing to fall. And the longer that I've been a Christian, the longer I've learned that you have to be willing to take chances, and you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. You have to be willing to fall. And then you get up, and then you do it again. And as you do it, you don't feel quite as unstable. You feel like you have more stability. Why? Because God is using you and he's developing you. And so it's in the times when God is putting you in an off-balance situation that you see God is doing something in your life. And so maybe that person that you invite to church doesn't come. That's okay. You got on your edges. That's fine. Maybe you spoke a kind word to someone in your life that was having a hard day, and they're like, shut up, I'm going through a hard time, leave me alone. And you try to show them love, they shut you down. It's okay, you got on your edges. So the disciples did things over and over, right? Falling time after time. Sometimes Jesus would shake his head, he'd just be like, come on, guys. But he kept with them because they were learning, and he knew that he was developing them into the people that the Father had created them to be. See, greatness to God isn't defined by our title or our role. It's by being faithful to what God has given to you and I to do in the meantime. Loving God, loving others, telling people about Christ. And so when we do those things right, being a parent and taking a tough class in school or understanding our relationship with God, those seemingly at times complex things, because of all the choices that are out there, actually becomes so much easier because we're doing the main things right. And we know that if we love God, that's probably going to be spilling over to how we parent our kids. If we love others, we know that we're probably being a better coworker or a better schoolmate. And we're telling other people about who Christ is. We're ultimately helping them have a spot at the table in the kingdom where Christ is going to enjoy that cup of wine with them. Let's pray. God, as we're here this morning, sometimes it's